All right, so Governor Jindal taking matters into his own hands, ordering the National Guard to build a barrier wall between the barrier islands off the Louisiana shore, and he's not going to wait for BP or the federal government anymore. He's taking matters into his own hands. I have to go back to something from just a few minutes ago with one of the callers pointing out that, it's great to see a governor acting like a governor. We're seeing this more and more all across the country. And for people that have been with us for a few years, I want to bring you back to the genesis of where this began. And the little seed that was planted was called the 10th Amendment movement. And it started the ball rolling of state legislatures drafting and passing and working through the process state sovereignty resolutions. And they started thinking about all these different things that are out of whack in the relationship with the federal government. And each state legislature, and there were, 41 that introduced it, only 4 of them actually fully shot it down dead. I mean, that means 37 states either passed it or, somebody in leadership buried it in committee without it getting a chance for a vote, or there's different versions of how far it got and how it got there. But what happened was you had state legislatures stirring the pot and saying, here are the itemized things that we're frustrated about. It got them thinking about it and articulating those frustrations so that when the next year and year and a half and now 2 years rolls in, people are already focused on this in the state levels. They're thinking about these relationship things as far as constitutionality and also understanding the impracticality of having the federal government provide everything to everyone. It doesn't work. It's not possible. Systems have tried that throughout human history and they always collapse. Or something even more sinister happens when a powerful personality gets involved. And so, this is the culmination, what you're seeing now with Arizona and with Louisiana and Virginia and Montana and New Hampshire and Oklahoma and all these different states that are really stepping up on their own on different issues and saying, we're not playing this game anymore. We're doing what we need to do for the people of our states. That's the way the Constitution is drafted. That is the blueprint of our republic. And when all 50 states start acting like that, the federal government will be focused on dealing with things on behalf of the 50 sovereign acting states of this country. That's what they're supposed to do. I had a conversation with someone a little bit earlier today, and we were talking about, empowerment and accountability and transparency and everything else, and the person really got going on a soapbox about individuals and making a difference, and they were talking about the federal government. I said, whoa, time out. Do you not understand that individuals were never empowered to make a difference in the federal government? The states are the ones that hold the leash on the federal government. That is the mechanism for accountability and redress with the federal government is through the states. That's where it's at. It's not me just saying this. It's not an opinion. That's the blueprint, the structure, the infrastructure of the Constitution. The states are the ones who control, assign, and hold accountable the federal government. This is why we took an entire 2 hours to talk about Federalist Paper 46 a couple weeks ago. Because it outlined the very specific reasons why states are the pullpin to the whole entire republic. If the states don't act like states, you don't have a republic. And so now you have states more and more starting to act like states around the country. And that is a good thing for everyone, except for those dependent on the tit that the federal government provides. And I'm talking about politicians, I'm talking about special interests, corporations, international stuff with other countries that are dependent on all this foreign aid coming in, military and quasi-military presence and all those kind of things. Those are all federal problems. They're not problems of the American people, except for that we have surrendered our authority through our state governments to keep the federal government in check, to only do the things that we need for them to do for us collectively on our own behalf. So I'm excited to see that that the 10th Amendment movement over the last couple of years, which I'm very glad to say we were right at the very birth of that. We were right there at the epicenter of it. And we've followed through, and what we were telling you 2 years about it is now coming to fruition. When people get excited, they go, yeah, Bobby Jindal, my hero, someone wrote in. He is my hero, someone just wrote in. That he is standing up and never mind the bureaucracy, never mind the national media. He's doing what the people in his state need. That's the 10th Amendment. That's the state sovereignty stuff right there. That's a real example of what it means. You know, and with Arizona, people get all bent out of shape. A bunch of racists, there's profiles. Don't waste your time on idiots. They don't know a lick about what they're talking about. Arizona took the federal immigration law and made it state level because the federal government wasn't enforcing it. So next time somebody comes up and you say, that Arizona law, a bunch of bigots, they just hate Mexicans. Say, yeah, you're right, Obama sure is a racist, isn't he? Has he repealed the federal immigration laws? Because that's what the Arizona law is. Don't waste your time on idiots. Don't waste your time on dolts, on just zero zoids walking around acting like they're politically informed. Don't waste your time on that. Spend your energy on boosting up, reinforcing, and validating the people doing the right things. That will get you a lot further than trying to convince a mud puddle that it's not a tower. Okay? I mean, so just be focused on things that can actually help move things forward. And the way to move this country forward, to redeem our republic, is for states to act like states, because then we, the individual citizens, will have our mechanism to have control over our federal government again. Because calling Nancy Pelosi, calling Kay Hagan, calling all these people, that isn't going to change the paradigm of our country. Getting your state government back in sync with its constitutional duties is going to change the republic. I was going to talk about charter schools. I'll have to save it for the next hour. I got on a soapbox. Hey, that's the risk you take when you tune in to Take a Stand.